I always say delay is not denial. After 3 years of waiting, I get the chance today to start the journey to achieve a dream that was born over 16 years ago. And I also get to visit the 20th country of my life on my journey to visit 50 countries before my 50th birthday. So join me and let's journey together. I am traveling to Canada today, but to get there, I have to go through the Netherlands and the USA. For someone who loves traveling, I hate sitting around airports during layovers. So you can trust that I'll be leaving the airports if there's enough time between my flights to explore the city. It is said that being able to make it through a long-haul flight in an economy class is similar to finishing a marathon. That means I'll be running 3 marathons in the next 48 hours. As a passenger, if you want to handle less hassle whilst in economy sitting, you must prepare ahead of time and put your plan in action. As most of you know, long-haul flights in economy class are not the most comfortable in the world, and upgrading to business class isn't a viable choice for most of us. That is why along this journey, I will share 10 tips to help you survive long-haul flights in economy class. So look out for them. Tip number 1. Make sure you dress comfortably as a passenger. As a passenger, you should maintain a relaxed and unassuming demeanor going to your respective flight, as you are not there to impress anyone. In fact, it is good to pack layers in case it gets cold. Bringing a cardigan or sweatshirt is always useful to have on hand in case it gets cold, and most times it does. I got to my check-in desk 5 hours before my flight, as according to my bathroom scale, my bags were more than 2 kg overweight, and I didn't want any surprises during check-in. My luggage allowance was 2 bags of 23 kg and hand luggage of 12 kg. I advise that you talk to the check-in agent if you have a long layover, so he can check your hand luggage. That way, you don't have to drag a heavy luggage across the airport during a long layover. I did that and I was able to have all my bags checked in to my destination, allowing me the freedom to travel light. At the check-in desk, the KLM official asked for my passport, my arrival can, my port of entry letter of introduction, and proof of vaccination. Then I filled my departure declaration card to be submitted to the immigration officer at the booth during security check. Travel tip number 2 is to make sure to check in early. Didn't get seat number 22A? Don't panic. But don't wait till you get to the airport to check in for your flight either, as you can secure your seat online. After going through immigration, it was time for me to have security check. Security screenings are mandatory. For this process, your items are placed in trays and x-rays to search for any dangerous goods or prohibited items. Items in these categories differ for each country, so it is important that you research customs law for both your destination and all transit airports. Security queues can be very long, so prep for your screening to be as quick as possible. Quick tips here can be: remove your jacket and belts and all metal items. Empty your pockets. Make sure your drinking water bottle is empty or it may be confiscated. Put everything, including your documents, in one bag. Place your liquids and gel bag with your laptop in a separate tray. Proceed through the metal detector and comply with any random search. be it a pat down, body x-ray, or bag searches. My checklist that I use when I get to any airport security to ensure I don't encounter any issues are: 1. Make sure I have all my identification and travel documents in an accessible yet secure location. I don't accept anything from anyone before boarding my flight. I packed all my bags myself and know exactly what is in them. My bags never leave my sight or supervision before I check in. I fill all my necessary declaration forms before I get to the security checkpoint. At exactly 10 p.m., the flight got called for boarding, and based on my seat selection, I had to wait for my zone to be called for my first leg of this long trip to start. We were warmly received on board by the crew and were flying on the Boeing 777-300, which is the most reliable twin aisle flying today. It has the highest schedule reliability of any plane at 99.5%. That means this plane is always on time, nearly all the time. So I knew this pilot would like speeding like myself. As usual, the backseaters who were first to board were taking cabin spaces in front, creating a queue and delaying everyone. I finally find my well-seated window seat on the wings and ready for a good night's sleep. At 10:55 p.m., it was time to taxi off to the runway and fly off to Amsterdam after 8 hours in the clouds. Travel tip number 7 here. Just sit back and relax. Flights are the perfect opportunity to put your worries aside and simply enjoy the moment. Despite the fact that there's no mobile coverage, the crew is there to cater to every passenger's needs. It is actually the time that passengers can get some reading done, watch a couple of romantic comedies, or read about their destination. Think of the 8, 10, or 12 hours of extra time as a gift, and that long travel will go from being a hassle to being an experience. At 6:55 a.m., we touched down peacefully at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Amsterdam Schiphol Airport is a busy airport, so it pays to be well prepared to avoid potential delays. Currently, there are no specific coronavirus safety measures in effect at the airport. It remains important to check the travel advisory for your destination before arriving at the airport. It is possible that you will need a face mask in the country you are flying to. Ah,
Sorry, yeah.
thank you.
I'll say come and see. Okay. I will go see. Say baggage. I have a 3-hour layover. Is it long enough for me? I have a 3-hour layover. I have a
No. I will go straight to your transfer flight.
Okay. Until we will see. Right.
Pay close attention to the displays and screens when you land to know your connecting gates and the times for any updated flight times or cancellations. At the Schiphol Airport or any other airport, there are a few things you need to take note of when it comes to airport security and safety. There are some basic restrictions regarding what you can and cannot take with you to Canada and to US if you are going through here. You will also have to learn how to keep better watch on your luggage so that no one can tamper with it. No matter the country from which you are departing or entering, it is important to understand airport and airline security and safety, remembering to cooperate with airports, airline and custom officials. Some of the airport safety and security in place are showing of identification. Try to always have your passport easily accessible, yet protect it against theft. Be prepared to show your passport when presenting your airline tickets, receiving boarding passes, entering departure gates, going through airport passport control, or when boarding flights. 2. Carry on luggage. Check with your airline to find out its regulations for what you can and cannot carry in your carry-on luggage. Do not put any sharp objects like nails, scissors, razors, or pocket knives in your carry-on. Such items may be considered a threat to safety and could be taken away from you. Pack them in your checked baggage instead. On accepting things from others, under no circumstances should you take anything from or hold anything for anyone who asks you to do so. If anyone does ask you, simply say no and walk away. Don't be afraid to say no to family and friends. You need to think about the potential consequence before you hold anything for anyone. Your bags should be in your sight at the airport up to the point when you check them at the airline counter. Once you have picked up your bags from baggage claim and are on your way to customs, be sure to keep close eye on all your luggage so that no one can have access to them. Random bag searches. If you are stopped and asked to open your bag, cooperate with the officials. Custom officials often conduct random searches just because your luggage gets 2-hour wait. My flight to Minneapolis was called for boarding, and as usual, we went by Zooms. To board the flight, We were required to sign a declaration form in addition to the proof of vaccination that we are actually vaccinated against COVID before we are allowed to enter the US. After checking our boarding passes and US visa, we started boarding. We were again welcomed by the friendly KLM crew operating this equipment and directed to our seats. This particular plane was the Airbus A330 with a 2x4x2 configuration. According to aviation experts, it is a reliable, ultra-modern state-of-the-art plane with an impeccable safety record. It's been said that there has only been one reported incident with when an aircraft of this type is crashed.
Hi. Hello. Can you pick it for me? Thank you.
On this flight, they served us chicken curry mozzarella with bread and salad, and I washed it down with some apple juice.
switched off soon. However, we recommend you to keep your seatbelt fastened while seated. If you use a blanket, please fasten your seatbelt visibly over your blanket. And please be careful when opening the overhead bins, as items may have shifted and could fall out.
Note that you need a valid US visa to transit through the US to Canada. At the MSP Airport immigration checkpoint, the officer asked me for my reason for traveling to Canada, and I mentioned that it was for studies. Then he went on to request for my admission letter, stamped a 6-month stay in US in my passport, and waved me off. Unfortunately, at this particular airport, you have to claim your luggage even if you are transiting to another destination. Then you can recheck your bags into your next destination. After spending a full day flying and in 3 different airports trying to get to Canada, I had to take a minute to freshen up and prepare for the last leg of my journey. Quick tip here, do not forget hygiene essentials. This is as much for the benefit of everyone else on the flight. It is better to ensure that you carry toiletries in your carry-on bags and take time to clean your teeth, apply deodorant, or even change your clothes. However, please make sure to do this in the bathroom and not anywhere else in the airport. To kill time by eating and shopping, MSP has a wide range of restaurants and stores from both national brands and local names. Meanwhile, a longer stopover gave me an excuse for a quick excursion to the nearby Mall of America to shop and ride some roller coasters. Since opening its doors in 1992, the Mall of America has revolutionized the shopping experience of tens of millions of visitors a year. A leader in retail, I had a 7-hour layover in Minneapolis and I decided to use that to see as much of the city as possible. Because consistently voted as one of the top airports in North Africa, a layover at Minneapolis International Airport is certainly manageable. To help me release the stress and body aches I have accumulated over the course of one day trip, I decided to spend some time in the massage chair at the waiting lounge. $2 bought me 7 minutes of back, shoulder and leg massage. It was so good I had to do it twice. My best bet was the light rail transit, which runs frequently from Terminal 1, shuttling passengers north to downtown Minneapolis in about 25 minutes, or south to the Mall of America in 12 minutes. Of course, taxis are pricier, but will save you time. At 7:15 p.m., our flight was called and boarding started for the flight to Winnipeg. It was the start for my last and most important leg of this journey. At this point, my phones were dead and not charging, so I was really worried. On this flight, masks were mandatory as the Canadian government requires that every passenger that lands from an international country should be in a mask or the airline faces the consequence. So there were free masks for every passenger without one. This was going to be a 1 hour 26 minutes flight from US to Canada.
Thank you. Hello.
This was a short flight, so no food was served. Just a Biscoff biscuits for energy and a bottle of water to stay hydrated.
Please take a moment to find the exits closest to you, and remember, they might be behind you.
If there's a loss of power, lights will illuminate the aisle to guide you to an exit.
It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes, the panels inside the lavatories and above your seat will open, revealing oxygen masks.
To release the belt, just put the top of the buckle.
Please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened anytime the seatbelt sign is on. Even if the sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you're seated in case of sudden rough air.
In the event of rough air, the crew might also
After cruising for a few minutes, my sight beholded Winnipeg, my home for the next couple of months and possible years. See so much greenery. After going through immigration and picking up my bags, I was directed to the immigration office at Winnipeg Airport, as it is my first port of entry, where I had to wait in the queue for an hour for my study permits and work permits to be issued. The officer asked for my letter of introduction at port of entry and my proof of admission. Then he gave me my welcome to Canada and waved me off to the arrival hall, where I headed to be picked up.
I can't focus on what needs to get done.